It watches Graveyard Cars or it gets the hose again. Doesn't it, Haley?
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
This time, on Graveyard Cars, the ghouls get the dash for the 1968 Charger RT. But before the install, Mark shows us the details of the dash's restoration. Continuing the charge, the ghouls install the newly restored grille, bumper, and valance. Royal and Dougie assist Mark with completing the assembly on the one of two 1970 Hemi Coronet RT convertible, installing trim panels, seats, console, and pistol grip shifter.
You guys excited?
Hot dog.
And with the Coronet buttoned up, Royal and Mark take the car out for its initial fire-up and a very sentimental road test.
I never think about that Charger now that I don't immediately think of Mom. Bless her heart, she loved that car.
In Springfield, Oregon, Mark Worman, together with his skilled ghouls,
It has been established that the unburied dead are coming back to life.
bring classic Mopar muscle cars back from the dead to look like they did the moment they left the factory floor.
Because of the obvious threat, this station will remain on the air day and night.
So we got a great episode coming up. Our 1968 Dodge Charger RT. This is a MM1 turbine bronze metallic car, white interior, all numbers matching. Guy bought it in 1972 and has had it ever since. We just got the dash assembly back from Instrument Specialties. They did a complete restoration on it. If everything's like it's supposed to be, I'm going to cut the guys loose to install that in the Charger. Once that's installed in the Charger, then we can start working on the rest of the interior pieces. Also, our 68 Charger is going to receive the ultra beautiful, ultra gorgeous, ultra cool, ultra sleek grille assembly, front bumper, and lower valance. This will be the piece de resistance, if you will. It's a little French there for you. I also have my buddy Royal coming over, aka Chrome Dome. He is going to work with cousin Dougie and I. Going to be a bit of a flashback like in the old days. We all grew up together working on cars, so it's going to be fun. When he gets here, we're going to put the seats, center console, interior trim panels, garnish molding, shifter, all in our 1970 Dodge Coronet RT 426 Hemi 4-speed convertible. Beautiful car. Remember, they made two of them. Only one left on the planet, and we're just getting ready to finish it up. And if we're able to wrap up everything on the 1970 Coronet, Chrome Dome and I are going to take it out for a maiden voyage. Just like the old days. Wind cutting through our hair in a convertible. Well, wind cutting through one of our hairs on a convertible. He's bald. Looks like he's wearing a swim cap all the time. But that's here and there. Stay tuned. We got a great episode coming up. That's what I do. Or what's this coming up in my mirror? You gonna want some of this? You gonna want some of this, little Mustang boy? Ha 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 ha! I got chunks of guys like you in my stool. And don't put that in the edit. Ah, you turned. Yeah, good boy. Good boy. Right now the ghouls are getting ready to install our dash assembly in the 68 Charger RT. This is the MM1 RT 440 automatic, original white interior cars, beautiful numbers matching, original owner car. We sent the dash out a couple of months ago to Instrument Specialties. It's back now and they're going to install it. If you take a look at just the back of this, it's very impressive. A lot of cool colors, a lot of cleanliness. If you look closely, you'll see things like the date code on the back of the clock. You'll notice the wiring harness. This is the under dash wiring harness. Now they're about $500 when you go to buy them. But if you put a car together and a 50-year-old wiring harness goes back in, this insulation around the wires is brittle. It doesn't have the insulating ability that a brand new one would have. So what could happen? A meltdown. And that's usually what does happen with using an old wiring harness. I'm not saying you have to. Here at Graveyard Cars, Instrument Specialties, we just put a new one in. Classic Industries makes them, why not put them in? Now the radio has been converted from an AM to an AM, FM, MP3, and that's why the extra wires. But when I roll it over and show you the front of it, it appears to be a stock radio. And that's what most of our customers are going for nowadays. The most impressive part is the front of it, so I'm going to roll it over and show you that. The first thing to see here is take a look at the dash VIN plate. These dash VIN plates cannot be reproduced, period. It's against the law. This is the original one. What Instrument Specialties did was they took it off, detailed the dash, and reinstalled it with the original rosette rivets and the Chrysler Corporation Transfer, a licensed product. This is exactly how that dash VIN plate would look if it was 1968 and the car was on the showroom floor. Another big misnomer done by many, many shops is the finish. If you look carefully, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but this is a very grainy, textured, matte finish. It's not semi-gloss rattle can. It's not flat black. It's not throw some dirt on it while it's wet paint. This is a lacquer paint by PPG that has a suede agent in it. So the thinking behind a matted finish on the interior of the car is reflection. It's light reflection. So if it's anywhere in the view of the driver of the car, you'll never see a real shiny painted surface. It should be a matted suede finish. And when it dries, it gives it this dry, pebbly finish. If anybody's ever had an original car, they'll know what I'm talking about. That is the difference between some restoration shops and others. You go through the front of this thing, these are not new switches. You can buy a lot of these components, including this face panel right here, these switches, the radio trim bezel. You can buy a lot of that stuff new. And if you don't have one, it's great. But if you have an original like this car was, this was an original car, then they replayed all these things. That's a big difference in what Instrument Specialties will do versus a lot of component restoration shops. The gauges are restored correctly. They're not just a set of decals that are put on. They're actually restored in the spirit of the originals. There's that radio we were talking about. Take a look at that. Looks like an AM radio from the front, but it's actually an AM, FM with an MP3 player. The trim across there, all original. Look at the controls up here. This has not been wire wheeled and satin cleared. They took the original temperature control plate that houses the knobs and had it replated and relettered. One last thing to point out, you'll notice that there's a pretty good gap right here. In 1968, these pads are a soft vinyl stretched over a foam. But the problem with them is, here's this mint condition original, really nice dash, but these have swollen and pulled back and shrunk and moved over the years, and there's nothing you can do about that. These are the nicest ones that'll be out there. This is what we're gonna have to live with. So that's the difference between an OEM restoration on a dash and somebody just doing it in their garage. So with that, I'm gonna let the guys go ahead and do an install. The 1970 Dodge Super Bee is a wild-looking car. I happen to think it was a great-looking car. A lot of people don't like that look. The C-stripe looks like it stops too soon. Why didn't it go into the door? Why's the front end got that strange-looking double front loop bumper? Kind of looks like bee or fly wings, if you will. Me, I love it. Some people hate it. The fenders and the hood are the exact same fenders and hood that helped the Plymouth Superbird become a car. That's right. That's what you'll find on a Plymouth Superbird. This car is a 446 pack. It's a 4-speed car. It's plumb crazy, white interior, Ram Charger hood. It's one of only 599 that were ever built. Those are the reasons that make this car, the Graveyard Carz, Corpse of the Week. After Larry got the top put on and I got the Bumblebee put on it, we only had a few things left, which is why I have the Dream Team here. Mr. Royal Yoakum, Mr. Cousin Dougie. They are putting this upper garnish molding. This actually holds the tonneau cover in place at the front. So they're putting that in. Then we've got the left and right quarter interior trim panels, back seat back seat bottom. Once that's done, they're gonna put the console in it, the front buckets. At that point, we can roll it outside and give it an initial fire up. You guys excited?
Hot dog.
Hot dog. Yeah, we're excited.
Kind of like being backstage at the big fight, you know? Like when Rocky and Adrian. Royal was gone for a season or two. He's busier than heck, and all I get on my emails, what's up with Royal? What's up with Royal? Where's Royal? I don't know, get over it.
Everybody loves Royal.
Everybody loves Royal. That ought to be a TV show. Everybody loves Royal.
There you go. I think
Yeah. I could write your material for you. Trust me, you're no comedian. Okay, you're a great guy, but you don't know comedy.
I'm a great guy.
Oh, hey, something just sort of dawned on me. Hang on here. Yeah, you're okay, I think.
Something clicking up there?
Well, I'm just double checking the order they go in. What I'm wondering is if this hole right here looks like it goes underneath here, right? So does it go like this and then slide under? I just wonder.
It may. Wait, I got a light bulb here.
Yep. You got a light that goes in the bottom, or in the top up here. Okay, so this is our courtesy light. It snaps into the plastic. All right, so I got that in there. I guess your job is to see if it just slides under there and plays nicely. Must go like that, huh?
Just like that right there.
Gotcha. Okay.
Now,
so the reason you have to do the interior trim panels first is because think about your back seat. If you put your back seat in, you'd never be able to get these panels on. So all of this has to kind of fall together in a certain, kind of like Tetris, right? And one has to go in a certain spot, then the other one goes in, then the other one. You know, the main reason I got the A-Team out doing this, we call them the A-Team. I just came up with that, it's kind of brilliant. I know Overhauling used to have the A-Team and they were really good too, but I like to call my team the A-Team now because they're not on TV anymore and we are, so we get it.
we'd be A+.
Yeah, A+. Boy, I never saw an A+ at the top of any paper I ever turned in.
That makes one of us.
I love it when Royal comes over. I wish we got to see him more. We did have a talk about him coming over and spending more time in the afternoons and on the weekends, so hopefully that continues to work out.
I'm guessing that rides here. I got the seat back snapped in and I'm ready to put bolts in it. It was giving me a little trouble. I just want to make sure I didn't want to pinch any of those hoses. You have to be really careful because of the exposed hoses. We don't want to break that. I mean, you can take the seat out to get to them, but who wants to do that? Who wants to take the seat out after we put it in?
Coming in, Royal.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Some panels have to go in first, such as the quarter interior trim panels. When they go in, then the rear fascia that goes across the top of the back seat goes in. Once those are in, you make sure your seat belts are in place. Then you can put the seat back in, fasten it in the corners, and then you can put the seat bottom in. So it's just it's a matter of steps to do it. We've done it many, many times.
All right. That's beautiful.
All right, looking good.
Just like that.
So we're really starting to wind down on the Coronet. That's good. That means it's almost done. We have some lights that we need to go through and do a systems check on, make sure everything's working like it's supposed to. We still have to put the console in it. We have some button-up things that need to be done, but for the most part, it's getting really close to the finish line. Do we know which way this goes? Can it only go one way? Top. That's good. That's important. Otherwise, you'd be a little upside down when we roll over. That's okay.
Only till you turned it over.
Only till you turned it over. Okay, that should go there. And that clips in there. So now they're putting the center console in. You got the 4 screws for that, gentlemen?
I do.
Okay, great, great, great. So right now they're getting ready to install the world famous pistol grip shifter. Now what's cool about that, I'm gonna stop them right there. Look at the craziness. You wanna know why that's not a straight stick coming all the way up? Because it's a console shift. Mopar was crazy. It goes straight down to the hole in the console, then over to meet the shifter, because remember the drivetrains are offset to the left on a Mopar, and then down. So they have to hold that shifter, slide the plate up into the shifter all the way to the top, and then go down and line it up in the wedges, tap it down, because in 70 it's a wedge style shifter, in 71 it was a bolt-on style. Get that tapped down into place the best they can, then they can put the upper plate on it, and that's done. Awesome. And just like that. All right, now we're ready to go on to the seats. Here, Royal, I will bring yours because I would hate to see you have to walk all the way around.
You want to drop that in?
Yeah, I'll set it in there.
And I'll put the nuts on underneath.
Okay, alrighty.
See you?
But for right now, it's okay. Where do you want to go after this? All right, guys. Looking good. Okay, so they're going to finish up the seats, top off all the fluid levels, get the battery charging on it. After that, we'll start it up outside. If it runs and it does what it's supposed to, we're going on a road test. And a road test. Earlier, we learned a little bit about the 1970 Dodge Super Bee. Had kind of a strange stripe on it, that's for sure. Cool looking, but strange. We also learned that the fenders and the hood were used on another production car by Chrysler in 1970. So my question is, what car was that? Was it the 1969 Charger Daytona, the 1970 Plymouth Superbird, or the 1970 Chrysler 300H? If you think you know the answer, stay tuned after the break. Welcome back, my ghouls. How did you do on that one? The question was, what other production car did Chrysler choose to use the 70 Coronet fenders and hood on? If you answered the Plymouth Superbird, good job, you were paying attention. I like that. If you answered the Charger Daytona, it could be that you remember something about using different fenders and hood. That's true. The Charger Daytona used modified pre-production 1970 Charger fenders and hood for the 69 Charger Daytona. The only other choice you had was a 1970 Chrysler 300H. That car is built on a C-body. While it's a cool car, it definitely wouldn't have accommodated these fenders and that hood. So, now you know. So right now, got the ghouls setting everything out to be able to finish up the last pieces on our 68 Charger RT. One of the last pieces is also the biggest payoff pieces. It's this beautiful grill assembly. Typically speaking, the grills are busted to pieces. They're either sun-baked and fried to pieces, or they've been wrecked and plastic welded back together. This was a really clean California car. The guy bought it when it was only a couple of years old, still has it today, has taken very good care of it. So this grill assembly, when we started, was really nice. It just needed to be restored. So if you look at this grill from end to end, what you'll see is Will's done the paint and the touch-up work on it. These are actually his original emblems. I could have bought brand new ones from Classic Industries, and most of the time we do. But in this particular case, I love that they've been on the car for 50 years. I think that's a cool thing. The moldings, I did buy new ones from Classic Industries, and that's one of the first things that we're going to put in. So first thing we're going to install is the grill. Is that right, Douglas?
Uh-huh.
All right. You got all the pieces and parts laid out. Looks beautiful, looks like an operating table. This is how I like to roll if I'm doing installs. All right. There we go, looking good. Come on in. Nice and clear up high. Look good, look good. How we doing? Then we have studs in the back that we've got to line up. They'll keep coming.
This bumper's hanging me up here. There we go.
I'm gonna put one bolt in there just to keep it from falling. Okay.
Got it.
All right. So I'm gonna put a bolt in over here. That one, okay. So we just slid the grill in. We've got the top bolts pinned in place, most of them. And then there are two horizontal studs that come off the back of the grill reinforcement that go through the core support. So he's gonna raise it up, go up. Great. I think you're lined up right now, Doug, so real gently try to push that through the openings. Just real nice right there. Now there's about maybe almost a 1-inch hole that these studs go into that allow you to align the grill. So when we do the final alignment, we may have to move that around a little bit. Justin, you have the other two?
Yeah, you got them right here.
See those? Okay. You won't want to tighten it, right?
Right.
Right.
Snug them up. All the bolts are in place.
So all I had to do was pull the bottom of the fender out a little bit so I could get a better reveal right here. They sure weren't perfect from the factory, and it's hard to make them perfect. You would almost have to fill this area here up with mud to make that a perfect line right there, but that's a pretty good line. That's probably better than it ever left the factory with. This side right here, this one actually has the opposite problem that one has. So this one, I'll want to push in a little bit. So go ahead and tighten those up.
Get the side.
Great. Okay, I think we're all right to do that. That looks pretty good, pretty darn good. Okay, let's lower it down and put the top ones in. All right, so you got your bolt started over there. Would you bring me, I need a bolt. Thank you. Okay. It is 1975. You got $500 in your pocket because you got your first job and you're 16 years old. Bob Cochran has 2 Chargers on his lot for sale. They happen to be $500 a piece. The 68 redefined muscle cars, which is probably why the 68 Charger also was the highest selling Charger model of all time. The 69 was cool too. It had a new grille and new taillights, new side markers on it. But some say it wasn't as cool as the 68. My question is, what are you slapping your $500 down on? Is it on this 69 Dodge Charger or this 68 Dodge Charger? If you go to graveyardcars.com and cast your vote, 1 week from today, we will announce what you guys decided live on Facebook. I know how I'm casting my vote.
So far, the ghouls knocked out the 1970 Hemi Coronet RT convertible assembly, installing seats, console, trim panels, and shifter.
If it runs and it does what it's supposed to, we're going on a road test.
The ghouls turned up the tempo on the 68 Charger RT, finishing the interior and dash, and beginning the install of the Charger's iconic grille. Still to come. The installation continues with the Charger RT's grille, front bumper, front valance, and rear window.
Is that a trap door?
Finally, Mark and Royal fire up the 1970 Coronet RT and take this one of 2 Hemi convertible for its maiden voyage.
This one needs to go in just a little bit, right to there, and tighten down. Good job. So all the bolts are tightened down now. Okay, rear end. Okay. Nice, just like that. Needs to go in towards the passenger side a little bit.
Get the bolt right here for you.
Okay. Any luck? Okay. So the bumper's got to come over this way. So you want to hit it right here with the palm of your hand while you hold pressure on it. Not too bad, not too hard. And you want to pull at the same time. Okay, so you guys got the bolts out. Let's do the valance panel. Brewster, you want to go inside? Me and him will line it up.
Yes, sir.
Trade you ends. And with all these valances, set your middle one in place so it'll hang.
Right now?
Now.
Oh. Okay. Don't laugh at me.
Is that a trap door?
Is there a hole in my head? What's wrong, Mark?
Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead.
How's that?
That looks great. That's
Thank
really
you.
good.
Thank you.
Let's go ahead and get this front one up here. The body men always pre-fit the valances because sometimes, especially when you're dealing with, this is really nice sheet metal from Auto Metal Direct, but you always have a little tweak to do. So they do that before it goes through paint and body. So we're not out here trying to put a valance on that doesn't fit with all the cameras rolling. You know?
I need one more fastener.
A bolt?
Justin, if you could hand me one of those fasteners.
Beautiful car, the 68 Charger. Absolutely gorgeous. All right, looks awesome. Everything looks great. Who wants the honors of installing that? How about you, Sir Mannequin? Doug is a mannequin, not a mannequin. He's a can-do kind of guy.
What's wrong?
Nothing's wrong. Are you centering that? That looks beautiful.
How's it look?
I think it looks good.
You like that?
I think it's beautiful. So the guys are almost done with it. They're getting ready to put the front bumper guards on. We've got our valance, our bumper, our grille assembly. The only things left on this car right now are we got to go down to Accurate Exhaust in Roseburg and pick up the system for it. Classic Industries just got in the much back-ordered console top plate assembly for it. I've got to put a bumblebee stripe on it. Then all we have to do is start it up, take it down, have the alignment done, do our road test, check for squeaks and leaks, final detail, and that car is done and able to go back to the owner. The 1970 Dodge Super Bee was available with two different body styles. WM23, like this one, meant all four windows rolled down. WM21 meant only the front windows rolled down and the back windows kicked out. Call it a post car. True or false? In 1970, Dodge made 599 446-pack 4-speed, two-door hardtop Dodge Super Bees. Think you know the answer? Well, you might if you were paying attention earlier. Stay tuned after the break and I'll give you the answer. Welcome back, my ghoulish friends. How did you do on that question? True or false? Dodge built 599 70 Coronet Super Bee 446-pack 4-speeds in a hardtop version. Did you say true? Good job. Nice work. You were paying attention. Now, I could have said how many two-door posts were built, and I bet you wouldn't know that answer because I didn't give it to you. For the record, it was 109. That's right. 109 446-pack 4-speed 1970 Dodge Super Bees were built in a post model, 599 in a hardtop. So, So what I brought out here are the latch receivers and the latch mechanism, very commonly used in a lot of Mopars. So what I want to talk about is OEM versus original equipment replacement parts. This is the receiver. I believe Tony actually officially calls it a B and A receiver, which is B body and A body. This is what's going to take the latch into it. When these get worn from age, you'll see right here, the metal is getting thinner right through here. It's nice and full here because this isn't a contact area for the latch. This is. That area right there intersects, this is your average door latch right here, with this nylon right here, this guide. So when these go together, this comes in like that, and it slides right there. This area here that you can see the marks on are what wear on this area right here. Besides just being a cosmetic problem with this receiver, if you look here, you'll see where this area that is getting beat and worn has begun to encroach into the screw opening. That metal's beginning to fail right there. You look at the brand new one, it isn't very thick anyway between that screw opening and the top, but it is there and it is in good shape. So if you bought the new one, you put it on your car, you just want to make sure that the latch is cleaned, lubed, and ready to go, the adjustment is right, and then they would work together like they're supposed to. So the bottom line is, when do you do the new one versus the original? Everybody knows me, I love original. I love original, I love original. A lot of times it doesn't make sense, especially in something that's really not keyed to the car with like a VIN. Something that could be on every B-body back in those days. Look for a really nice used one, but even if you found one that has less wear right here, you'd still have to have it replated. You still have to do your math and figure out, is it cheaper and better to restore an original one than to use these really nice, nearly exact, except for the little numbers on the back, replica from Tony's. So next time we'll talk about the doors and some of the other broken parts that can go on inside there that make it impossible or not very much fun to drive your car. So right now, Justin and I are getting ready to install the back window in our 68 Dodge Charger. Now this is our 68 RT MM1 turbine bronze with the white bumblebee and white interior. It's beautiful.
Yes, gorgeous.
Justin has done an awesome job getting the car put together. And I think all that we have left is the windshield wiper arms, back glass, back glass reveal moldings, and hubcaps.
Yep, that's it.
And then we can deliver it.
Awesome.
So the first thing we'll want to do is take this protective film tape off of our actual bedding compound or ribbon, if you will. We've already put the ribbon down on the glass channel. And now what you see here, this real fine edge that looks shinier than the rest of the ribbon, that's the actual area that's going to seal the best against the glass. We're going to want that to press firmly against the glass all the way around. Okay.
So do we do the dome side facing out?
Yep.
Okay.
So it's got a curve to it, so we want the curve out. And then, so what you want to do is before we even make contact, I want to take a look. If you were to get it as close as you can without touching, side to side, how are you setting distance-wise from the reveal clip?
About 1/4 of an inch.
It's about what I've got.
Okay.
And then the same thing on the bottom, you can come down a little bit on yours, I think, right there.
Right there.
So I think we can let that bottom rest. Can you hold that there for me?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I've got just about, you got about 1/4 between your clip and your glass? Yeah. Okay, we can go ahead and let that fall down right there. And then we start in here. The main reason you're hitting it with the flat part of your hand is if you hit it with a club like that, there's a good chance you can break it. If you hit it like this, you're spreading the energy out around a larger area. So now we just have to keep working it.
This section up here isn't sitting
so do you have
well.
a plastic bone?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and grab that.
Okay.
We'll tuck that in there. There can be variations in the window opening, variations in the glass as far as the height of it. So we use these, what we call plastic bones. It's a little tool that's made of plastic. It allows you to get in there once the window's in place. If you have a low spot in the urethane that isn't touching the glass, you can take this and push it down, bring it out, bolster it up against the glass, and then tap the glass in against it. Okay, I think we got it, so now we can put the back glass moldings on.
All right.
Let's grab those. When you go to put the moldings on and there's a window in place and there's 8 coats of paint on it and clear coat, it always gives you some kind of a problem. What you hope is it's the least amount of problems, meaning it'll usually take 2 guys to put them on at the same time because one will have to hold it in place while the other one taps it down. So mostly you want to make sure you're fitting your corner and don't push this one in yet.
Not that one.
Leave the other ones in.
Okay, do you want to check this gap right here?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the way they do.
Okay.
Go ahead and snap a couple of them in there. Give it a little pop with the palm of your hand. There you go. And one more. Okay, that's okay. Let me get this one started in there. Okay. And we'll lay them in there at the same time. Putting these moldings on has a process. So you put the upper molding on, you put the other upper molding on. Now you got your upper moldings in place, left and right. Your lower corner molding, those are a little more finesse. You can't just go bananas and start hammering things into place and then pry them back up. Those two are in place. You put the lower corners on each side and then bridge the middle one between it at the bottom, and then you can roll those down into place and tap them. So if you're crazy, if you're an ogre, if you're just stomping the heck out of everything, you'll bend those moldings. You'll either bend the moldings or you'll scratch the paint. Either way comes up 0. Got it? Okay. That little 68 Charger, when you look at it, everything fits like it's supposed to. It truly does look like 1968 all over again. So I am happy. New guy's doing a great job. The shop's really coming together. Things are just continually getting better. It's a beautiful car.
It's gorgeous.
That color really pops out here. It's so different than inside. It actually sparkles out here. So Royal and I have got the Coronet outside now. We're getting ready to do the initial fire off of it. I don't anticipate any problems. All right, let's see what we got, boss.
Fire it up.
All right. Boy, that sounds good. I'm gonna let it warm up. Drop the top. Drop the top down.
Yeah.
God, it's even idling nice. How about that? Let's see if the power windows work. Look at that, Rollo. Let's try the door. All working, Rollo.
Nice.
There you go. Are we ready? Woo. Yeah.
There it is.
Oh, that feels good.
Feel solid, brakes?
Feels good, yeah. Brakes are good. Doug's been doing a great job. Doug's got those things dialed in. Look at
really?
that. That thing shifts like butter. Listen to that. No whining, no howling, no growling, no nothing.
Everything just is solid.
Just feels solid, doesn't it? Yeah. Listen to that. First gear.
Wow.
Track's nice. Look at the steering. Pretty good for a first-time guess. Typically speaking, when you take that car out the first time, you have a pen and paper with you. And you write down this punch list of everything that's wrong. And on that one, I don't know what I would write down other than it needs an alignment.
Yeah.
I'm just amazed, considering I still have to do the alignment on it, how nice the car drives. Like, this is the way they're supposed to turn out the first time. By the way, we caught you lying the other day.
Me?
Uh-huh. I was watching back through some footage of you. You were talking to Dougie, I think it was.
Speedometer goes to 150. We'd have to see if it did it.
Okay, I guess we did, didn't we?
Yes, we do.
Then you made some kind of comment like, oh, I would never do that on the road.
Oh, but not on the street. We didn't do that on the street. Just to clarify.
Then we found some footage of you back in season 1.
Here we go. 100. Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
And do you know I got in trouble for that crap? Exactly.
That's payback.
Take trouble for everything.
That's awesome.
Jeez. Woo!
That's awesome.
That sounds good, doesn't it? Yeah, baby.
I love these cars.
It's a over-the-counter replacement block. There's no VIN on it. It's a 1972 over-the-counter replacement Hemi, which is good compared, you know, I mean, perfect would have been the original engine in it, but doesn't work that way, right? But it had that one in it, and we sent it out and had it built, put it back together again, and boy, it sure feels good. That sounds good.
Oh, I love
God, that's that dual force, man. Nothing like it. Boy, that just feels good right there. Like usually you let the clutch out and all kinds of weird things happen. But boy, that track's nice. I think Brett will love the car for a multitude of reasons. It's a gorgeous car, it's stunning color, it's right. We matched it against an original panel, so we know we've got the right color. The body and the paint is as good as you can do on a car, so, you know, I'm not bragging, I'm just saying it's as good as you can do on a car. Those are 410 gears, and it feels like it would pull for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. This is like the old days, except we never had anything this cool.
No.
What was
Well,
the coolest
we
car
we
we
did.
had as kids?
Every car we had was cool.
I know. I sure wish I had more pictures of my Charger. I've got 2.
Yeah, we didn't think about that. They didn't have smartphones back then.
I never think about that Charger now that I don't immediately think of Mom. I don't know exactly why, but she loved that little car. She loved the day I got it. She was watching out the living room window when you and I were out there using all of our Ajax on the top, trying to get it to go white again. Yeah, just bless her heart. She loved that car. Yeah.
That's funny. I never knew that. I never knew.
She did.
I thought because she said you were always going to kill yourself.
I know. Even when we were over there at the old folks' home there at the end, she would tell everybody these stories about how she was walking down the road one day. Because I tell her I am a saint, right? But she's walking down the road one day and she sees this car coming down the road backwards really, really fast. She realizes it's me. Then I hit the brakes and crank the steering wheel. It was a Rockford 180. And I look up and there's Mom. It's not what it looks like. Yeah, it's exactly what it looks like.
Did she take your keys?
No. Mom always compared everything to doing drugs or getting in trouble. So
I guess if you're doing that, you weren't doing drugs.
That's right. For just first putting the car together, we haven't even had the alignment done on it. I mean, that was like, I just wanted to ride around with Royal, so it wasn't quite ready to go driving, but boy, you wouldn't know it to drive it. Everything on the car worked. Turn signal indicator, speedometer, tachometer, all the gauges. It tracked down the road straight. Steering wheel needs to be centered when it gets aligned, but I was pretty impressed with how nice that drove.
Yeah, it's solid. Everything, there's no rattles.
For a first time put together in an initial road test,
usually there's some rattles you got to go back and fix, but not this one.
I'm relaxed now. Knowing Brett's coming, I'm okay with that.
You play your cards right, you might get to buy me dinner.
I have been buying you dinner since 1976.
That's not true, Marcus.
No, it is true, Royal Galen Yoakum.
No, it's not.
It's most certainly true. When I first met you, we were on the paper route. You said you needed more space, so you quit your paper route. I took it over. We were walking by 7-Eleven. You said, hey, buddy, why don't you buy me a hot dog?
No, it was a big one. I got write-offs there.
Nothing ever ends, does it?
You didn't change nothing. I got
more things change, the more they stay the same. Now, this was a fantastic week. Absolutely one of my favorites. Anytime I get to work with Royal, it just takes me back to when we were kids. I love the guy. I can't help it. And I got to tease him, too, which is also a good kind of a perk for me. But we were able to get the dash installed in our 1968 Dodge Charger RT MM1 turbine bronze metallic. Everything looked good in the checkoff, so we were able to get it installed in the car. Same car also got its grill, which is a complete grill assembly. It's not an easy piece. There's a lot of pieces that make up that grill. It's not just the grill, it's the headlight doors, it's the actuators in behind it. We also got the bumper and the lower valance, finishing up the front end of the 68 Charger. Absolutely gorgeous. The 70 Coronet RT went beautifully. We were able to get the seats in it, finish off the rest of the trim, the console, the shifter, the interior trim panels, and chromium diome side. Cue ball, swim cap head. Looks like a great big toe walking around with little legs under him. And I were able to take it out for its maiden voyage, and that is what memories are made of. Thanks everybody for watching. We got more fun stuff coming up next week. Graveyard Carz, #1 television show on TV. I just got the ratings and we beat The Walking Dead season finale for the number of people watching. No, we didn't.